Hi, this is the Social Gelo with Angelo show. My name's Angelo. I'm a social scientist, surfer, martial artist, and a whole lot of other things. Coming to you live from Kasai City, Japan, the Social Gelo with Angelo show.
What's up? And thank you for checking out Social Gelo with Angelo. The show has been growing, and you can check us out at the website at www.socialgelo.com, at podcasts, apple.com. You can download it for free, www.listennotes, and the list goes on and on. TuneIn.com is one of my favorites. I like these websites because they're apps that you can easily listen to it from your smartphone with Bluetooth or headphones. And I'm also on Google Podcasts. Essentially, if you want to listen to Social Gelo with Angelo and you don't want to go through YouTube, feel free to just Google it. And there's a bunch of different apps that you can listen to it right from your smartphone, and you don't even have to download it. If you really want to help out the show, jump on iTunes, subscribe, and write a little review. That would be awesome. Or even simpler, jump on YouTube and hit subscribe. That helps me a whole bunch. Today, I interview Sifu Renato, and I might be saying that wrong, so I apologize to Sifu ahead of time. If I did pronounce that wrong, it's Renato, so I'm guessing it's Renato. Usually when I butcher a name, it comes out later in the podcast. So if I did, terribly sorry about that. And our intro. It's going to be a good one. I hope you enjoy it. And again, this is part of the Kajukenbo series. Let's get started with the show. So I'm here with Kajukenbo instructor Sifu Renato, hailing over from France, Paris.
Yeah.
A little more information about how I found Sifu Renato. He has this YouTube. Is this your YouTube channel? Is Hybrid Karate your YouTube channel, or is that just?
Yeah, it's kind of a new project. It was just the first video. I have done things in the past, but mainly demonstration or videos of Kajukenbo or whatever. So this time I'm just trying to make something a little different. So trying to make some history interviews, technique. I will talk about Kajukenbo, but also about the history of karate behind it and Okinawan roots, etc., etc. So it's kind of a fun thing to do. So
cool. Well, like I said, I came across your video. The Mawashigiri was French, and you talk a little bit about history of martial arts. And if you, for my listeners and viewers, do check it out. Congratulations! It's already got over 500 views. That's good. I know for those people that get 1 million views, it's not a big deal. But as a small YouTuber, that's a great milestone.
For me, just a cool thing to start, and yeah.
So I always have everyone on here to share like their first interviews with me is their martial arts journey. Maybe one day we'll get together again and drink a beer and talk about shop and stuff. But today it's all about your story, brother. So how did you get into martial arts?
Well, I started in karate and judo at the age of 7 in Portugal. I'm from Portugal. And like everyone else, I started with the easiest one, the martial art that I had this available at the time. So I really liked striking in karate. Not so much of a fun at the time of judo, but I liked it also. But I was more into striking methods, so karate was filling my needs back then, at 7 years old. And I really liked it. I was very active. So I stayed in karate for 10, 12 years, really serious karate working. And last 2 years I was working karate and kempo and discovering Kajukenbo at the same time. So basically, I started Kajukenbo around the early 2000s. And I was training Kempo also. So I trained Koshoryu Kempo. I trained a little just to see how it worked, Kempo Karate. But I really liked Kajukenbo. And so I stayed and I tried to be connected with the most plausible sources for me. And it was like that worked. And then in 2008, I had the chance to be under Angelo Garcia Soldado, Grandmaster. And well, that's basically the story. I started really um, I started to work a lot in terms of time in tatami in Kajukenbo, and well, I just started to open the school in Lisbon back then, and then another school, and then I was seeing also I had many military friends, though I was working with them also, and I kind of make the Kajukenbo entrance, if I may say, in Portugal in terms of organizations and stuff. And I started to open some schools. In 2012, 13, I think I had already 5 schools with some of my students. And well, that was it. And also, I started to go more and more to see my grandmaster and to work with him and to go to seminars and all. So it was kind of this story, simple story of how I started in Kajukenbo and how I started in martial arts. Yeah.
Well, we're about to complicate things. So, one of my first questions: how long did you do judo for? Because you were doing karate and judo at the same time at the age of
Yeah,
six.
yeah, I worked in judo about 2, 3 years maybe. Yeah,
So two, 3
really regular 2 times a week training. Yeah, and then I stopped for a while. Then I came back, but well, then I just at one time I was just doing karate, Shotokan karate. I was doing a little bit of competing and all. I also competed in judo when I was a child. I also I did a tournament, like a regional tournament for school, but I was more into striking.
But that's still great, right? You already
Yeah,
kind of started digging into that Kajukenbo base where you're kind of you're going
yeah.
between striking and grappling, and then
Mm.
you favored striking. You were doing your Shotokan karate, and you were saying that you did that. How long did you keep doing that for in Shotokan?
Shotokan about 11 years. Yeah,
11 years. So
yeah.
I'm really bad at math. So until you're about
No,
18.
I started in 91, and then in 2001, 2002, I just stopped for a while in karate. Yeah,
All right. So you were about 18.
yeah. I'm
Around
very young.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were about 18 when you stopped doing karate.
yeah.
And then you moved into Kempo at that point?
Yeah, it's a nice story. My master in karate was also interested in learning more things. We're doing like shuriken and shotokan training, just for fun. So he was a very open guy, very open person, which I respect a lot. And I was with them actually 18 years. So I was with them in shotokan and then with them in kempo at the same time. And then he just said, "But I want to train Kempo. I want to try Kempo." And we went to try with different people. He kind of got a person that he engaged with, and we started to train Kempo. And actually, we bring from United States the Grandmaster Samkua from Karao Kempo.
All right.
So we were trying to make a ramification of Karao Kempo in Portugal at that time. I was still young, early black belt. I was almost. It was a strange thing because the responsible in here in Portugal said that we would, if we wanted to train Karo Kempo, we could not train anything else.
Oh.
It was kind of a strange thing,
Huh.
but well, I was really crazy about the Kempo world, and I said, well, the heck with Shotokan for now. So
So you followed the rules. You followed the rules.
yeah,
You decided to go
yeah.
into Kempo. And
Uh,
one more, well, not one more. I'm gonna have a lot of questions, but
No problem.
one of the many questions I have. So you were doing Shotokan karate. You move into Kempo. They say you can only do Kempo, but at this point, like you're kind of living a martial arts life. Like, did you have any family members? Did your dad do martial arts? Is that how you ended up?
No, well, no.
Oh,
My dad was very fond of motivating me to the martial arts, but he was not doing martial arts over than the martial arts. He had done some things in the military, but not very much.
your
So
dad was military.
for a while, it was not a career
Okay.
military. I
Oh, no
was.
career. Oh, you were career military. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. We're gonna get to that too. Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna make a note of that. So your dad, he wasn't in the military, not career military, but he did some
Mm,
military, and he wasn't a martial artist, but he did encourage your martial arts journey.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
why? This is probably gonna be a little harder for you to answer because the people that get into martial arts later have a very clear distinction in this. But for you,
Mm,
what made you get into martial arts? Like you were a little kid. What
yeah.
happened? Something all like everyone's origin story. Something happened. Sometimes one of my guys was the mom like was sick of seeing him in the house and made him take the classes. That was one of the professors I interviewed said, I got pretty much forced to. But
Yeah.
for you, what was it? Well, how did you end up in your first class? Like, was there an inspirational
Well,
story
I
there?
remember I had some interest about it. My father was always joking with us, like, if this happens, you have to do this and defend yourself and stuff. And I wasn't born in a tough neighborhood, but I wasn't born either in a very high class family. We had this ways of looking to hard time and looking to something, if something went wrong within our our neighborhood or whatever, we had to be able to defend ourselves and stuff. So I started to see some movies, of course, like everybody else, and I had a friend that said, I'm going to karate, etc. So let's go, let's see what happens. I'm interested in that. I'm very active. I'd like to test it. So it was a bit like this, like motivation from my father, and also from some friends that were already enrolled in classes. And then I went to see judo classes, I went to see karate classes, and I kind of started both work going on at the same time. So it was fun.
Which movie was it?
I don't remember. I remember of course, the Enter the Dragon, but I don't know if it was this movie, But I remember that I saw also that movie. So with Bruce Lee. So it was kind of a thing back in the '90s. So you know,
Yeah, yeah.
also, until the '90s, because right now it's kind of different. But those generations, 70, 80, 90s, they are influenced by movies also, of course.
Yeah, yeah, no, and Bruce Lee is a really big. He was like the first social influencer
Yeah,
of his
yeah,
time.
for sure.
We talk about influencers on Instagram and stuff, but before
Yeah.
Instagram, it was Bruce Lee. That he influenced a lot of people back then. So you got started. You're doing kaju. Oh, well, we haven't gotten to doing kaju yet.
No, no, not
You're
yet.
doing kempo. You're doing Shotokan,
Yeah,
and somewhere in that, uh you're doing this because you want to learn it, right? Everybody
yeah.
always starts off because they want to learn as much as they can. At what point did you feel you wanted to teach it?
Well, it's kind of, I already had this in me. I think this way of trying to help people to do its best without going above themselves, without putting my hands over, without like helping them in some way in classes. It was also, I think I was always like this. Not only in martial arts, but also in martial arts, of course. And then one time, my sensei went to competition in the eastern, no, where it was, Ukraine or something, and almost in Russia. So we went to a competition there, and I was not the oldest at the class, but I was already a blue belt, I think. And he said, "I have some guys that may come to help, brown belts, etc. And but you're in charge. If you want to help me, I would like to you to be in charge of the class." So I was about what, 15 or 16, I don't
Uh-huh.
remember
Uh-huh.
properly. And he said that, and I just started to help in kids class and also grown-ups class. and that I was a kid.
Yeah,
But
a kid with 10 years of martial arts experience is
yeah,
quite.
but but anyways, I just helped a bit there, and that really did something inside me, that really inspired me to become an instructor. And later on, I was always related to giving classes or helping to give classes, and since I could, I started my own group, and always being able to go and to learn with my masters. I think that's my main mentality. We have lifetime of learning. But anyways, that was mainly the inspiration was mainly that one.
Cool. So you kind of got molded into teaching, something
Yeah,
that's always kind of there, and you decided to stick it to Kempo when you were 18. And I'm
yeah.
guessing around this time, when did the military career start for you?
When I was 20, so yeah, 2 years after. Yeah,
2 years after. Okay, so you're
yeah.
doing Kempo now, and they told you can only do Kempo. Some
Yeah.
association they made you make a decision, so
hmm
you're only doing Kempo now. And what happens next?
Then I started the military. I was 2 years engaged in the sergeant school in the army. So I had I had the same time for training. So in these 2 years, I trained when I could at weekends, and but it was very intensive training at the sergeant school. So this time I was wait, maybe 2003, yeah. So I was in Karao until 2003. Then the guy responsible had a problem with Sampua, with Grandmaster Sampua, and they just leave the organization
Oh,
or something like that. I'm not gonna enter in the details.
no, that's fine.
And
I don't
then I
blame you.
was yeah, and then I was with that situation, impacted me directly, of course, because I was to do my first degree in Kajukenbo at the time.
Kempo.
So I have done a lot of training in weekends and stuff. So normally I was going to be a black belt in Karao, but it didn't happen. The only person that was black belt first degree was the responsible for the organization that we were in, the main responsible. I'm not gonna say his name because he's a
Uh,
very known guy right now.
okay,
So
that's cool.
anyways, and I don't want to enter this. This is not about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
That saves me for editing later. I don't want to edit. I don't want to edit
yeah.
anything out.
So anyways, I entered the organization. We left the organization. Hey, Leonardo, can you do that? Sorry, it's my son. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, to my listeners, quick disclaimer. I got kids. Renato's got kids. This is right after Christmas, and our kids are just. I know my daughter, like I was mentioning off camera, has got a unsaid after Christmas party going on. So yeah, if you hear any kids in the background, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not going to apologize, but just keep it in mind.
Yeah. Sorry, but yeah, me neither.
But sorry,
so
I interrupted you. You were saying?
so I was in I was Kempo Kao was no more. So the organization person started to do his own kind of Kempo for a while, and then he got into Cocho Rio Campo. That we have a great person in Portugal that is for me one of the pioneers of Campo and in Portugal, and he's a very very good guy. And I can say his name, Pedro Puray. He was in the States many times doing seminars and stuff. So, and afterwards, so Caro Campo, Kusho Rio Campo, I was with my backpack going around the others, I wasn't deciding things. But anyway, afterwards we were in, we tried to learn with other Campo masters. We had some seminars. And then it came along. I already knew them. I was knew Kajukenbo, but Angel Garcia Soldado came to Portugal in 2004, trying to implement with us a new school in Portugal. But that it didn't went so well. So actually, we just did the Kajukenbo program, but we weren't officially recognized with Senior Grandmaster Angel Garcia
So
at the time.
I'm gonna kind of try to slow things down. So you were I'm trying to keep up here. So you you ended up finding another Kempo school in Portugal.
Yeah.
And then from there, somewhere along the line, you were approached by a Kajukenbo.
No,
instructor.
we're not approached.
Oh, we were not
Actually,
approached.
the responsible for the organization in Portugal, he was trying to get some representation within Kempo and within Kajukenbo. Yeah. So
Okay.
he was trying back then to search some master to follow.
Okay. So
Let me say.
so the head of the association of the Kempo Association in Portugal was trying to find either an American Kempo school to follow or a Kajukenbo school to follow.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically.
And eventually
he was already in Carao in 2000 to 2002, 2003.
Kajukenbo
And then
wasn't
sorry?
Carao or Kajukenbo?
Carao Kempo.
Oh, Carao.
That was before.
That was okay. And that was like, and that's we're still like there's still how did I guess my question, how did either you find Kajukenbo?
Well, Angel Garcia Soldado made lots of work in terms of magazines, for example. We have the same magazine in Europe, not the same magazine, but the Black Belt magazine, European or international. It's called Judo International. It actually they write in several languages, so it's fun. Also in Japanese. They translate. Yeah. So the Angel Garcia Soldado did a lot of work in terms of videos and in terms of magazines. So I already knew him back in 2000s. Yeah. For that matter.
Oh, okay. So you guys heard about Kajukenbo?
Yeah.
Through Angel Garcia.
Yeah, that's it.
In Black Belt magazine.
Yeah.
So here I'm gonna see here. I'm trying to see if I can find. Yeah, I didn't think I that would be really hard. But I was trying to see if maybe I can find that cover. But either way,
that cover,
I can't find it, but it's okay. At least most people listen to this anyway. So that's how you heard about. That's how your association out in Portugal heard about Kajukenbo. You saw you saw Angel Garcia on you read about it in Black Belt magazine.
Yeah. Well, I already people had bought some VHS cassettes and stuff, so we have seen it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And then he was invited to come to Portugal in 2004, and he came with some students. We had a seminar. We had all things going on, but there was some kind of misunderstanding between him and the head of the organization once again. And after 2-3 weeks, he said he wasn't going to continue with us, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it was like a decision made because of the ways things were going. Well, if I enter in that, I will enter in polemics also.
Oh no worries. What I am going to do though is I'm going to just to give my listeners something to see real quick here.
Yeah.
I'm going to show them this here. So we're talking about Angel Garcia here. Here we are here, and here's his advanced training DVD set, and I'm guessing back then it was VHS. So this is what you were talking about as far as the techniques and how you heard about it. Cool. Yeah. So that's how you, because I'm always wondering, like, how did you find Kajukenbo? So now my question is, your group, you found Kajukenbo, you found some VHS tapes, saw the DVDs. You're already doing Kajukenbo, but what was your impression? What was your impression of Kajukenbo? Like
For me, it was mind blowing. It was really. When we are coming from karate, even from Kempo or other systems, Kajukenbo can be a lot like a new thing in terms of the options we have, really. So it's a Kempo system. We cannot say otherwise. It's mainly striking and stuff, but we had lots of things that were very interesting. And I really like the way that Angel Master Garcia just followed the line in terms of work. He was working since the 70s. He was alone for a period. Then he got back to Sijo in '84, and Sijo just said, "Come here. You're my direct student. I'm gonna help you out and give you the knowledge I have, etc." So he was with Sidious, really with Sidious since '84, and he has done also this work of discovering, because he was alone for a period between '78 and '94, I think. He was already adding things, maybe if he didn't want to, but he was already doing things differently with European mentality, etc. So it was kind of fun to see that he had already done so much about Kajukenbo and its development, and we had the chance to learn with him. So for me, it was great at the time. It was bad that after a while we had to be separated, but it was great. Anyways.
So that's how you ended up being introduced to it. It was originally through Angel Garcia, right?
Yeah.
That's I'm horrible with titles, and I say this all the time. That's why
no problem.
That's why I usually just use first names with people, because then I'll
no yeah.
Like I was interviewing my Sifu, who's now a professor, and I kept calling him Sifu during the interview. So I really I'm just gonna call you by
my grandmaster. Senior Grandmaster Garcia, normally students call him Angel, so
it's just... Yeah, it's funny. My name's Angelo, right? So like all my students out in Japan, they just call me Angelo Sensei. And the funny thing is, I teach English too, so like I never know which sensei they're referring to. but so your group got introduced to Kajukenbo through Angel Garcia. Immediately you really liked you saw the difference in techniques and that kind of a thing. What so now there's kind of a break off point, and how did Kajukenbo end up coming back into your life? How'd that happen?
So we keep doing Kajukenbo self-defense. Basically, they had the responsibles had the DVDs, and they learned a little bit with Angel Garcia at the time. So in terms of self-defense, we are doing Kajukenbo of the Angel Garcia's work. So, and for a while that was a bit disrupting, because the person responsible was doing Karo Kempo, Kata, Kajukenbo in self-defense, and different wushu things. So it was kind of, a bit of too much of a mix for me, maybe. So for different reasons, I didn't continue with this group. I was already a grown-up man. I was already a staff sergeant at the army, so I had different views of the world and things. So I just, for different reasons, I break up with them, and I tried to contact Angel Garcia. So I just sent him an email, and I don't know if you remember me, Grandmaster. I'm sorry to talk with you like this, but I just wanted to be a student of Kajukenbo, a real Kajukenbo route that I can work with and develop, etc. And they said, okay, no problem. Come when you want. The doors are open. I'm doing seminar here, and when you come, you'll be welcome, and we'll talk about it. So at that time, I was already a 5th degree in Kempo, the Kempo that the person responsible had done. So I wasn't very happy about this 5th degree. I was very young, and I was very, even if I think I was not bad, but I was not happy with my ranking system that they were putting on, very fast grading and stuff. So one of the reasons was that. And then the main reason was to search for a really good source of knowledge in Kajukenbo. I was really happy to be welcomed in Kajukenbo by Senior Master Angel Garcia, and well, that's the story. Afterwards, I just keep training, keep going to his seminars, invite him to Portugal. He came, he passed some vacations with me. I tried as much as I can to be with him and to learn with him, and yeah, and also to learn with others in other styles. I'm not close in, and I have the right to to practice other things. It wasn't the case in back then in Kempo starting history. My start in Kempo, but so that's it basically. I keep training as much as I can.
Well, that's insane. Like you're the first person that. No, no, you're not the first. The first person that I interviewed was the guy who does Totem Kajukenbo in Spain.
Yeah.
And he was telling me a very similar story about it's so we're really spoiled. Okay, I was born in Southern California, so I wasn't looking for Kajukenbo.
Yeah.
Kajukenbo found me, but I wasn't looking
Yeah.
for Kajukenbo. And so when I got into it, it had nothing to do with lineages or martial arts or anything. I just wanted to fight, and that's
You
it.
wanted to train, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to fight. Specifically, I wanted to fight.
Yeah.
not even train. In fact,
Yeah.
I think I told that to my instructor. I said, "Can I just come in during fight nights? Like, I don't, I don't want to train. I got my own training program. I just want to fight." But
Yeah.
and a lot of the guys that in my circles were like that. MMA fighters, kickboxers, and stuff. So like, it's interesting because then all the people that I met through the show, people I've met in California, they were all Kajukenbo people that just had a school, right? They just, hey, you got do Kajukenbo and go to, a lot of the people had a dojo, but not you. Like you had to, you and the guy from Spain, like you're traveling, going to seminars, trying to like finding Kajukenbo.
Yeah.
You had to find it, right?
Because I already had, I had to put the effort in, for sure.
Yeah, we're
because
spoiled.
I already
Spoiled.
well, thanks. So it was kind of it was hard, I remember one time I was going to a seminar, and normally I would have to come back in a bus, and it was in like I don't know how much kilometer, but about 8 to 10 hours or more of bus time. So I was coming back, and normally I would be at time at the second birthday of my son, but actually I was really like 1 minute behind schedule. It was enough, but it was hard for me also to have sacrificed those times to I had to sacrifice a lot, and I remember I lost my wallet in Spain in the car that Grandmaster Garcia was with his student. So I kind of had to phone him and tell him, Grandmaster, sorry, where are you? I have to, I have to recover my wallet and stuff. Yeah, I have it. So we had to encounter somewhere in southern Spain. To be able. Then I got the bus a little later, another bus, and I got a bit late for my birthday, for my son's birthday. So it was a bit like this.
Wow. So you had again, like you said that when you ended up when you ended up coming into Kajukenbo, did they honor your fifth degree, or did you have to start at a different rank, or you just kind of
No,
big
I didn't
disclaimer,
want it anyway.
big disclaimer, I don't care about ranks. I'm not big,
Me neither.
but either way, so how'd that work out for you? Like what happened?
Well, the first thing I said to Angel Garcia was, I want to train with you. I want to learn, or with some students that you let me learn. And he said, "Yeah, come on, learn. You can learn directly with me. Let's see what happens. Come to seminars, etc." And then the first seminar I said, I was there with my belt. It was the only belt I had at the time. It was a black belt with red stripes, like fifth degree in Kajukenbo. And You said, that's a fifth degree in Kajukenbo. He said, yes, I know Grandmaster, but I really don't care. I want to start playing from the beginning. I want to learn the program and stuff. So for me, it's not a problem. And he said, yeah, of course, that's actually the way we work. So people are not being cross-ranked directly. So maybe if I was in a different school of someone who was a student, it's kind of a different thing, of course. But it wasn't the case. So I started, even if I knew the old self-defense program of Kajukenbo already, I wasn't there in terms of concepts. I wasn't there in terms of distance, stuff like that, ways of making the technique. So I started with playing black belt, and I started from there. And then when Angel Garcia thought uh, that he should pass me to the next rank, he had done it. He done it. So I wasn't hearing any. I wasn't demanding no exams or no any kinds of evaluation. He just said, "Yeah, you're good to go. I'm gonna give you the first degree, second degree," and this was like this. Actually, I think I was very fast, anyways, in terms of timing, but it was strange in a way. So when I received my fifth degree, Grandmaster, it was in Portugal. In Grandmaster, I had organized a seminar, and Grandmaster Angel Garcia said he made the graduation formally, normally, like traditional, in front of everybody, etc. And I was kind of impacted with that. And I said, at the end, I said, Grandmaster, I think I don't deserve it. I don't know if I'm too young, etc. And he get his belt off. We are just the two talking. He got his belt off. He gave it to me. And he said, you want my place? you wanna, you wanna." So sometimes he said the same thing. My old masters did the same thing to me. He said I was ready. So if you think you are, how do you say this? If you think you are not deserving, maybe you should be in my place. So I was shocked, and I said, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Of course, if you think it's okay, it's okay for me also." Yeah. So, but anyways, I was promoted in 2014, yeah, to fifth degree.
Whoa, wow. So when you you had to work your way back into the ranks,
Yeah.
You had to do Kajukenbo sparring. You've been doing Kempo sparring this whole time, Kempo stuff. You came to Kajukenbo and you had to do Kajukenbo sparring. What was that like?
Yeah, it's different in a way that we can actually in Angel Garcia's schools, sparring is like a part of the self-defense evolution in terms of you work your techniques and then you go along and you can spar as you like in terms of answers for the problems. I was doing mainly point fighting, so in karate I was doing point fighting. I had done some national competitions and stuff, so I wasn't that bad. And then in Kempo it was the same kind of point fighting also. And in Kajukenbo suddenly the guy come along and they get in the a very close distance and then can do a judo throw, or they can grab you. So it's kind of a different way. But Angel Garcia's schools are not very into competition, very much into competition. So there's not that how do I say that special need to work it like competition wise. You just go along, you just spar as you like, and you develop yourself. If you want to compete, if your school is for that, you just organize yourself. You compete whenever and whatever you want and whatever rules you want. So it's kind of cool.
And so what would you say to someone, I always ask this question, what did you notice as far as what was the biggest difference for you from let's say Kempo in the rule sets of point sparring and then going into Kajukenbo where now you're pretty much allowed to do whatever you want? Like what were some of the things that you noticed right off the bat?
in terms of real life applications, you can spar in Kajukenbo and then you can use it for real life application, for example. And point fighting, it's good for dynamics. It's good for being very explosive, of course. But when you're in a complicated situation, you're not allowed to do some things. In your training, when you get back into a complicated situation, you will be in trouble probably. So that was one of the things that I noticed right away. Another thing was the capability of working the different distances. Very very, it's great for your core, for your development as a martial artist. So the main features, I think, it's the ability to do things that will work outside of the tatami, and be in situations, in pressure situations, and also the ability to use your how do I say, use your training, like self defense sets, ABC, etc., to try to use it in MMA kind of sparring competition. So one thing I want to try one day is to go to a friend's MMA gym and try to put some blocks in their arms to see how it works in the middle of a rumble. So maybe you have that experience. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, it's fun, man. If you ever have a chance, if you haven't already, and any Kajukenbo practitioners listening, um, I've gone as far as to doing cage fighting, and
mhm.
I've done MMA, but what I really enjoyed more than more than competition, I've competed, but I've never liked the competition environment. I just don't like
Yeah.
being pressured to hurt someone for someone else's entertainment. I
Mhm.
did.
Exactly.
I
It's
didn't like
different.
it. Um, but I did love visiting MMA gyms because
Yeah.
for me, I discovered that these people are just like us,
Mm.
very, very similar.
Yeah.
We're more similar than we are different, and
Yeah.
that's what I found out visiting an MMA gym. So yeah, if you haven't done it, visit an
Yeah.
MMA gym. You'd be so
Yeah.
surprised
Sure. I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
what you'll
I'm
find.
gonna try to do it in this YouTube environment also, if I have the chance. So maybe we can see that experience also
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah,
So
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of
yeah.
fun. It's a good time. You're gonna meet some new people. So you ended up making your way in. You went through your black belt. Did you have to do the black belt test, or was
The
your school?
first ones, yeah. The first ones, yes. I just showed my work in front of my master, but as he said many times, it's not the day of the exam that you are ready. It's your work overall. So afterwards, he just looked at my work, and it surprised me with a promotion I wasn't expecting, and here he comes, and he promotes me to the next level. I think he just did it gradually, but in a way, in a sense, maybe he thinks I'm not as bad as a practitioner to have that kind of level. So it just surprised me at 2 3 times like that. So it wasn't really, after the second degree, it wasn't really exam like thing. He just he thought I was ready, and he promoted me.
Yeah, and again, for my listeners and for anybody who follows this, not Kajukenbo, every Kajukenbo school has a different criteria and a different way
Yeah.
of testing people. So there is no standard way. I always say, like, my Kajukenbo is going to be different from Renato's Kajukenbo. Renato's Kajukenbo is going to be different from John Hojlu, who's also been on the show. We're all connected in the idea that we do Kajukenbo, but our
Yeah.
expression of that, we're given the freedom to express that however we want. So
Yeah.
that's what I've always loved about it. So now you have your fifth degree. Not even before fifth degree. I mean, technically in Kajukenbo, first degree, right? First degree,
Yeah.
you're already
Yeah.
kind of
I already started
instructor,
schools at
right?
first degree. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
already had schools from Kempo, so
you had
I
schools from
just
Kajukenbo.
make the transition.
Oh, so how was that, man? So you're running Kempo schools. You're hiding. You're maybe you're already sneaking it in, but like,
Yeah.
but you can't officially start moving it. How was that transition like going into your students? Okay, white gis come off, black gis go on? Like, how did
Yeah,
how did you have the
that was before.
conversation?
That was before because Kempo was already in black gi.
Oh,
But
okay. Okay,
yeah,
that, I don't know if that
in
saved you
early,
that.
yeah, that was easy for me. So I already was in a personal life changing phase. So I just I ended my military sergeant school course at in 2005, and then I was already enrolled in camp. I was already black belt, and I was already making some work in some schools. In 2006, I went to South America to give seminars. For example, I had 17 days, Buenos Aires, and also Bolivia, Sucre in Bolivia. So I was already enrolled in this kind of, international wise, and also the ways that people are trying to improve themselves by changing for different styles or options in life. I don't know. So I was kind of used to see people changing, you know, kind of. So in a positive way, of course. So this was just like that for me. I just said, come on. For me, it's more important right now to learn Kajukenbo from this source. It's very important for for develop myself. I already do self defense of Kajukenbo, but I really don't understand how it works really because I don't have the source to learn directly. So let's just do it and see what happens. And I just arrived one day and said, "Well, I made this decision. I hope it not impacts you directly. I hope you're not mad about it. But I've done this decision for me and for my development in martial arts, and hopefully this will help you also to develop yourself. So if you want, come along. If you don't, friends. So no problem." So it was kind of this mentality that I had back then that helped me do the change, and already because I was ending my military course, I had to change the place where I was living in. I
Okay.
had to change lots of things, so that was kind of easy also for that matter.
All right. So your students, how they take it? Switching from Kempo to
Yeah,
Kajukenbo.
actually, in 2007. I started to talk with the Grandmaster Angelo in 2008. I started training in 2000, end of 2008, 2009. And then, yeah, so basically, I started new schools in 2010 of Kajukenbo. And I had some students that came along, but not a big chunk of students. Because I was changing because of the military, so I had not very big schools back then. So I had some students that were easily moving for Kajukenbo, or they just do other things. Students they start with us, but we keep doing things we do, and they change. So it's kind of normal that people, if they didn't like it or whatever, they changed. But mainly, I had two or three students that were with me back then. Mainly one that came from Kempo, and the other ones they were just new. Yeah, and two or three students that already did Kempo, but mainly one that was with me really hard training. So yeah, I remember it was not an issue to make this change because I was already enrolled in the military, moved a lot and stuff. So I had big schools. I had just some students in Lisbon, and two continued, and one keeps going. So
Okay, cool. So you were already kind of in a transitional period. So it wasn't
yeah,
too. It wasn't like you had a bunch of Kempo, like a large Kempo school where you had to be like, hey, guess what, y'all? We're doing Kajukenbo now. So
yeah. It wasn't like
it
that.
made,
No,
it made
no.
it, it made it a lot simpler for you. So you're starting to teach Kajukenbo. You start opening your schools, um, and you're beginning your Kajukenbo program. Where were you at this point?
Lisbon,
Lisbon,
Portugal.
Portugal. Okay. So you were at Lisbon, Portugal. You start opening your Kajukenbo schools, and how does that transition work? How did the schools, how did people, how did you, and here's a question, how did you explain to people what Kajukenbo was as they walked in through the door?
It was kind of it was kind of mixed with my military career because I already had a nice background in martial arts, and even if I wasn't in the military police, I had some contacts in the military police. So I started a Kajukenbo school with many military people. So when I showed them that it was like original mixed martial arts in terms of thinking, people were interested. And when they see Kempo striking and all these kinds of work and sometimes the throw, etc., they were excited. So it wasn't hard. It was like Kaju what at the beginning, of course. But over the Kajuat part, it was kind of easy to see and to see the concept behind it. So it was fine. It was really appreciated for in the beginning. So I started with some military friends, and then I was invited to the military police to give the personal protection course. It's a VIP protection course that is like a small team of people that are, if needed, they intervene with high rank militaries or other country personal VIP politicians and stuff. So I was doing that, and I was already enrolled in Kajukenbo. So it was kind of a very nice mix to develop, to have students from the military and of course the civilians. I just started to do some publicity and stuff, and some civilians came along also. And at one time we started with 2 3 students, and we had about 20 very rapidly. So yeah, it was cool. It was very very nice indeed.
And now, how many schools are? Is it still that one school? Obviously, we're in
So
France now. So how did you end up getting to France? How did everything else work?
yeah, so I have one school in Lisbon. That's the first school I started with, but it's not in the same location, but mainly the same people. Some that keep on going, and I have 2 brown belts there, and 1 black belt that has a difficult career and cannot be all the time at training. So there's that school there. At one time I had 4 schools in Lisbon. I did 3 schools myself and 1 school with my other black belt. Yeah, but now in Lisbon region we have 1 school because I already changed, because I had another very big change in my life in 2014. So we're trying to make our second son or daughter, and I had triplets. So that was like Kajukenbo in your face. It's like a very big hammer fist directly in your
Three
face.
strikes. Three
Yeah.
strikes.
So it's great. It's obviously it was a blessing, but it was also very hard and personal level. So I changed my location from Lisbon. I left some students there, and I come to the interior to a very big military base. With I had some more conditions, a lower budget for life itself. It's not the capital city, It's normal. So I made that decision. I changed to that military base. It's the mechanized brigade. It's a very big brigade, a very big base. And then afterwards, I left the students in Lisbon, but I was going there 1 time a week, even with the triplets. It's about 100 kilometers, something like that, like 1 hour driving. I don't have the miles in my head, so
It's
sorry.
okay. I'm in
But
Japan. I'm bad with miles now. I used to be better.
yeah,
I think the
yeah,
best for people to understand is an hour drive. And
yeah, an hour drive. Yeah, that's it. So I made that 1 hour, 1 hour it's 30. Yeah, probably. But anyways, I did that 1 time a week, sometimes 2 times a week. I went to Lisbon to give some classes. Sometimes I I gave my time also, and I was with the triplets in the car, and all people came along, and it was kind of a hard time. But I keep doing this for a while until I feel that the school is can go without me, and like regularly. So sorry. So in 2015, I keep doing this, and then I already have opened a school also in the military base nearby.
Okay.
Yeah, basically it was that. How do I come to France though? So I have triplets. I have another bigger, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna try to do something outside of the military. I already had a job opportunity in here, so let's see what happens. Let's make life a little different. And for personal reasons, I moved to France, and I started my school here also. But before that, I already had a school in Brazil of a friend that came by every year, and also in Argentina. Yeah. And afterwards, I came to France. So now I have schools in France, Portugal, Brazil, Argentina, and now in Northern Ireland. So yeah, so I'm starting to share my passion all over if I can.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So
Yeah.
you have your school, you have your schools around the world, essentially, and you started your new opportunity in France, and now you're there, you're doing your thing. That's really great, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Yeah.
on your school blowing up. Yeah, and
Thanks. Yeah.
on all your
Thanks.
success. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, we're almost up with our hour. So
Hmm.
there's no hour limit or anything, but we're almost getting to the end of the interview. One
Hmm.
thing I love to ask all of my guests, all the
Hmm.
instructors, is if there's someone listening to this that's never done martial arts, but they want to do it, um, what would you recommend as far as things to look for in a place to train or an
Well,
instructor?
firstly, I think the priority is to train something. So if they want to train something that it's accessible to them in terms of practicality, you know. But if they're not very fond of judo or whatever, if they are learning, they are trying to learn some striking or something, they should be able to test anyway, so they can find, yeah, the thing that goes with them. I think over than styles, over than all of that, it's our relationship with the art and our interpretation of it that's really important. So for me, it's not a question of what to do, but do it if you like it, and then pass to the other level, that is choosing your path within your options available and with the things you love to do. If you like striking, just do Muay Thai or do whatever. If you like a more open self-defense discipline, do Kajukenbo. And if you have the chance to do it, of course. Sorry, I have my triplets here. What do you want? So basically, just do whatever it suits you, and be open minded. Try things, and of course, there's a very important thing. People sometimes, instructors even think that people are going to a martial arts because it's martial art because of the martial art itself. And many of those times, it's not the martial arts; it's the instructor and the relationship they have with their instructor. uh, because people in the beginning, they start from that. Of course, then they will see, I want to try this, I want to try that, so I want to try this martial art or that. But at the beginning, it's kind of a human relation thing, you know. So for me, it's go for it. Just think whatever is practical for you and go for it, and then you will discover yourself within the martial arts, and then at the end you will find Kajukenbo.
That's awesome. Is there anything you want to promote before you go? I know I mentioned your YouTube channel, but is there anything
Yeah.
as far as your schools or projects?
Well, basically now I'm trying to implement here in France. I have two clubs here in France. One I do karate in Kajukenbo, and the other I do Kajukenbo. I have a very big school in the karate Kajukenbo school, about 80 to 100 people, and then so I'm starting to implement the Kajukenbo schools in the region also. So that's my main focus right now, and of course keep the link between me and the students outside of my direct zone of impact, if I may say. So my students in Brazil, etc., Portugal, Argentina, and all, I keep track of them by the use of internet. It's great to be able to do it. And in terms of promotion, well, I don't have anything to promote in special. Just well, the hybrid karate channel it's important to me because it's my view within martial arts and my view within the Hawaiian impact of martial arts. So I think Hawaii is a great thing that happened in history of martial arts. So I'm trying to study that a little more to understand more of the relationships and to learn more about it. It's just like a passion I have. And then I will share some techniques. I will share some techniques in the optics of karate, in the optics of Kajukenbo, to see what happens. That's the main objective.
All right. So again, make sure to subscribe to Hybrid Karate. If people want to train with you at any of your schools, is there a website they should be going to?
Yeah. For now, we're in Kajukenbo, worldkajukenbo.com, and you can see all the schools that are in Angel Garcia's schools. I mean, and then you have all the different schools of myself also. And then it's kind of if you are willing to train, and if you are outside of one of those schools, search for another Kajukenbo lineage if you have one in your where you are. And if not, if you really want to learn Kajukenbo Garcia's method, you can contact me or contact Master Angel Garcia and try to get that going. For me, it was also like that, so I think it's not a problem. If people want to really learn, they can do it. If I can make 10 hours of bus many times a year, and if Angel Garcia could go from Spain to Hawaii many times and to San Diego, etc., we can do it in a couple of kilometers. It's not, or miles. It's not a problem really.
So that's worldkajukenbo.com?
.com, yeah.
All right. So for my podcast listeners, that's www.worldkajukenbo.com. All right. Well, Sifu Renato, thank you very much for coming out on the show. And
thank you for having me.
For my listeners, stay tuned for the wrap-up. And that's a wrap. Thank you very much for checking out Social Gelo with Angelo. Again, if you want to contribute to the show, just hit subscribe on YouTube, and it's much appreciated. Train your mind, body, and spirit every day, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.